Today we are continuing the 7th chapter of the 2nd act of the journey home. May this reading relax your mind and awaken your heart. Let's dive right into it, shall we? I continued my journey to the ancient city of Varanasi, named Benares by the British, glorified throughout the holy scriptures of India by the name Kashi, and considered by millions of Hindus to be the holiest of all cities. It was especially dear to those who worship God as Lord Shiva. I wandered over to the Ganga. The sun was rising. Ancient stone steps called ghats extended in both directions, leading down to the river as far as my eyes could see. Tens of thousands of residents and pilgrims were gathered to perform their ritualistic bath. Clouds of incense smoke wafted toward the heavens. Cymbals chimed. Bells rang. Horns trumpeted. Drums beat rhythmically. Flutes emitted sweet melodies, and stringed instruments droned sacred ragas. Countless flowers and garlands were offered into the river's current. In all directions, people chanted songs, hymns, and mantras, which merged together in tribute to the Lord. The worshippers wore their most colorful saris, turbans, and garments to honor Mother Ganga. Merchants set up hills of bright red, yellow, green, orange, and blue powders along the steps, with dozens of large umbrellas shading them from the day's sun. Devotees offered incense, flaming lamps, conch shells, cloths, jewels, and fans. In the river, throngs of worshippers offered prayers, oblations, and rituals as men, women, children, cows, buffaloes, goats, monkeys, and elephants all took their baths. Sacred food was given freely. Carts everywhere sold snacks and religious articles. It was a grand festival of religious fervor. Entering into the contagious enthusiasm of the crowds, I took my morning bath. Afterwards, I visited the temple of Kashi Vishwanath, an ancient temple at the heart of Varanasi. According to scriptures, Lord Shiva and his consort goddess Parvati once resided there. Throughout history, saints, kings, and common people made pilgrimages to this temple, which so outraged a Mughal conqueror that he destroyed it and built a huge mosque in its place. At that time, however, the Hindus had hidden the deity of Lord Shiva, and later they established it in a new temple. Now, once again, tens of thousands came to worship each day. One day, while exploring Varanasi, I heard the sound of wailing women. A funeral procession was passing through the narrow alleyways leading to the river. The corpse lay on a bamboo stretcher decorated with flowers and was carried on the shoulders of loved ones. Walking behind the body, men were soberly restraining their emotions, and behind were women sobbing uncontrollably. Seeing their suffering, I was affected. I followed along behind and approached the funeral pyre to observe the final rites. It was so different from anything I had witnessed in the West. There on the burning huts of Varanasi, I contemplated the mystery of death, the same mystery that philosophers have struggled to comprehend for millennia. Praying to gain deeper insight, I made a decision. From sunrise to sunset, I would sit on the bank of the Manikarnika burning gut to meditate on the inevitable reality of death. Many Hindus believe that it is a great fortune to die in Varanasi near the Ganga, for it is said that Lord Shiva comes and whispers the name of Rama, the Supreme Lord and source of eternal pleasure, in the ear of the dying, thus assuring liberation from the cycle of birth and death. For this reason, many pilgrims come to Varanasi at the end of life. How many people know the saying in Hindi? Ram Nam Satya Hai. Ram Nam Satya Hai. Often chanted as a body is being brought to its funeral pyre, meaning the name of the Lord is the truth. For this reason, many pilgrims come to Varanasi at the end of life, as I said. Sitting in a place just overlooking the burning bodies, I observed the relatives and friends as they were forced to see the reality of death face to face. After a chanting and crying procession through the streets, the body was placed on a pyre of wooden logs and then decorated with sacred objects to the recitation of prayers, mantras, and sacred texts. To conclude the last rites, the eldest son or closest relative walked around the body while sprinkling it with Ganga water, then touched a flaming torch to the pyre. The burning of a dead body signified the release of the spirit, and the flames represented Brahma, the creator. Could you imagine that? Imagine you, a family member, your family has to be the one that lights the funeral pyre. You know, what a powerful way of going, all right, I accept the fact that they are no longer in this body. What a deeply transformative experience. Welcome, Paul. Hello, dearest Goofy Goosey. The fire then began its work. Its flames raged higher and higher as black smoke drifted toward the heavens. At this point, many of the mourners offered a final prayer, bathed in the river, and departed. But I remained, carefully observing the final moments of the corpse. The hair sizzled into nothingness, the flesh shriveled away, organs melted, and bones crumbled. Gradually, the flames devoured the entire body. In the end, nothing remained but a pile of ashes. These were then carefully swept into the current of Mother Ganga, the final resting place. Oh, it's a wonderful disco sapien. You've come to Varanasi. Many of us Westerners would probably feel like it would be such a traumatizing thing to see your loved one's body burn. But one could argue the reverse, that in some way it's traumatizing to not have such closure with another person's body. You just see the casket close maybe and lowered into the ground, and you don't know what happens next. I really respect this tradition in the East, actually. Such was the grand finale of a person's life. In the background of it all was the sweet song of Mother Ganga, calling us back to an eternal reality. At times in her song arose the Hare Krishna mantra, which I chanted while reflecting on death. Pardon me. In the course of time, the body would be placed in the earth or fire. If the body is really what friends and family members love, then why do they destroy it? I contemplated. It's not the body that people love, but the soul. The body is a temporary vehicle. Without the soul, the body is like a car without a driver. I see through my eyes, I smell through my nose, taste through my tongue, hear through my ears, feel through my skin, think through my brain, and love through my heart. But who am I? Who is the witness, enjoyer, and sufferer that activates my body? I contemplated this question while witnessing body after body preparing to enter into the holy river. Regardless of race, sex, nationality, education, wealth, or religion, in due course, all bodies will be carried away by the river of time, the ultimate equalizer. Let's pause our reading of the journey home there for now. Lots to reflect on already. We'll continue with the 7th chapter of the 2nd act next time. I'm grateful to have been able to go through that with you, and I look forward to unfolding this journey with you next time.